they've told me that, like, my work is witchcraft. And I was in a situation where I didn't want to be on earth anymore. I believe that if there is a certain era that you're obsessed with or fascinated with, you had a lifetime there.
Hello, everyone. I'm here with my beautiful friend, Wendy, and we are going to be getting ready, and she's going to be answering some of the questions that I have brought to her today. But first, why don't you introduce yourself to everyone?
I would love to. Hi, everyone. My name is Wendy. I am the owner of Wendie Beauty, which my brand is all focused around inner and outer beauty. So what I do is I'm a beautician, but I also do energetic work to help empower you and get you to your best self, as well as creating your best life possible. That's in short.
Yeah, she literally has changed my life, so just trust. Yeah, so we're just gonna get ready and she's gonna answer some of the questions and we're just gonna, you know, talk while we do our makeup.
I've never done this before, so this should be fun.
Yeah, this should be fun.
Okay, so my ability to read energy was since I was very, very young, and it was not very accepted. But I remember reading the Mexican poker cards for my 11 and 12-year-old cousins in Sinaloa, Mexico, and always being the one that just knew if something was gonna happen or not. But honestly, when I really realized that I could really tap into energy was because I had such a difficult time with life. I ventured out on my own when I was around 15, 16 years old, and I kind of learned to live life on my own, and it was very difficult and very challenging. And I think around the time that I was 24 years old is when I really realized that I had a connection to a higher power, because they kept showing themselves to me through some challenging times that I was going through. So that's a whole story right there.
Yeah, that is a whole story.
It's a long story, but it started when I was really young.
Okay. You said you noticed like dark entities like first, like when you were a kid?
It was really scary, yeah. It was really scary because I could feel the energy shift from the places that I would visit. And yeah, it was dark.
That's super interesting.
Yeah, it was dark. But I always talked myself out of it.
Yeah.
And I always called upon my angels ever since I was little too. I always called upon angels to protect me. And I could also feel when someone didn't have genuine intentions.
Yeah.
Always. I think we could all do that if we practice it enough.
Especially when you're a kid too. Like kids just know.
Exactly.
You know, they can tell.
Exactly.
Next question is, what's your favorite part about being an energy reader?
You know what? It's honestly being able to help people transform their lives. And I always say it's not that it's me changing your life, it's the knowledge, it's the information that you obtain from our sessions together about yourself.
Yeah.
It's being able to help people rediscover themselves and understand that you can transform your life by simply understanding the energy that you're working with at any given time.
Third question, can you explain what energy reading is for those who might not know?
Of course, energy readings are a way to understand yourself better, to understand why you keep creating certain things in your life, why certain patterns keep coming up in your life. It's really complicated, but the simplest way that I can put it is energy readings are for people who are ready to level up their life, evolve, understand themselves, because the only way for you to be able to evolve and truly create what you really desire is by understanding yourself and what programs you're working from.
That's how I would explain it to somebody too.
Yeah.
And do you have a particular philosophy or approach when it comes to your energy work?
When little girls were out playing in playgrounds, I was reading French books and books about Egypt and books about different religions. I studied different religions since I was really young. I was always fascinated by different philosophies. And so I think I've studied a little bit of everything. So I don't follow one specific thing, but what I will say is I follow what feels right internally for me. And if I start tapping into something specifically, and it's working for me, I'm very good at dissecting everything that I'm working with. And the things that work for me are the things that I incorporate into my practice.
Okay. I used to be really obsessed with like Greek mythology, Roman history, ancient Egypt and stuff like that. Like that was my thing when I was growing up. Like I used to make my own hieroglyphics. I used to be like, Mom, look, I can translate like hieroglyphics. Like I learned how to do this. And
That's
like,
really cool.
Yeah, I was that girl who was playing like real educational games. I was like, oh my gosh, look, I learned how to translate a hieroglyph. Like
I love that.
Yeah, it was pretty crazy.
And you know, I have a philosophy about that. I believe that if there is a certain era that you're obsessed with or fascinated with, you had a lifetime there.
Really?
Yes.
Yeah, because Greek and Roman mythology and also ancient Egypt were my thing. Like I was obsessed with that stuff.
There's always a certain culture that we're born just being obsessed with. So if that's you, tap into it a little bit deeper, because typically that was a past life for you.
And Hercules is top 3 favorite movies of all time. I love Hercules.
I remember I used to love it too.
All right, next question is, how do you prepare for an energy reading session? Do you use any tools like crystals, tarot cards, stuff like that? I already know the answer, but
yeah, you absolutely do. So yes, I do. Before I jump onto any readings, when you book your session, I usually already am starting to feel your energy, but about 30 minutes before I sit down, I call in your energy. I always have different elements available to work with. So I basically use a glass of water, which obviously represents water. I use smoke, so I cleanse the space with smoke, the air element. And then I also like to use Palo Santo, which is earth element. And then I do a little offering for your guides, which could be flowers that day. It just depends. It depends on your energy and it depends on what I'm feeling. What else do I use? I use candles for the fire element. Crystals, of course. I use selenite is the most amazing crystal. That's the one I use the most to tap into angelic realms. I actually have selenite for sale as well. But
and what does that do? What does that crystal do?
So selenite is the only crystal that you do not need to charge under a full moon. It's one of the most powerful crystals. It's one of the most attractive crystals to me. Everyone, you'll notice, you are all attracted to different crystals. There's hundreds of crystals, but there's always a specific crystal that you're attracted to the most. And for me, it's selenite.
Wow. Yeah.
So I have a ton of selenite and they're all different shapes and forms. One of my favorite ones come in these little pyramids.
Ooh.
So I have these all over my house, and then I'm obsessed with heart-shaped crystals of every type. So everywhere that I go, if there's a crystal shop, I'm gonna look for a heart-shaped crystal. So selenite is the crystal that I work with the most. You can use it for many different things, but for me, it's a meditative crystal. So it helps me tap into the angelic realms quicker, as well as protects my energy.
Okay. Wow, I did not know that about selenite. Wow.
Yes, I love selenite.
Can you read energy remotely or do you need to be in person?
No, remotely. I actually have clients from all over, because I have clients from Canada. From all over our country. I have clients in the Dominican Republic. So no, we could totally tap in.
Which I think is super fascinating, because you would think with this type of work, like you would need to be physically with the person, you know, to feel them and stuff like that. So it's crazy that you can do that virtually. And that's where most of your clients do, right?
Yeah.
Virtually.
Most of my clients are definitely remote. And I love it. We still get the same amount of energy flowing. Remember, energy's energy. So if you're open, I can read your energy no matter where you are.
That's so crazy.
Yeah.
I'm like, have you tapped into my energy? If you're out and about, or like, have you tapped into it before?
To yours?
Yeah.
You know what's funny?
Like
I always say this, because I remember even in when I was living in the San Francisco Bay Area, I would meet new people and right away they'd be like, be careful because she could read your energy. I don't want to read your energy. I don't want that. I already have enough to deal with on my own.
Yeah.
That I really don't.
Like, don't do that?
I really don't do that. I really don't tap into people's energy random. I always say, like, I have to get paid, not in a bad way, but it's like, I have to get compensated for me to go into your baggage.
Yeah, because it's trauma.
It is trauma, and not just that, but I have to also cleanse myself for a couple hours after our sessions together, because I don't want to keep any of the things that I picked up off of you.
Yeah, exactly.
Even if I'm like possibly dating you, I just pick up on the general to see if you'll be the type of energy I want to be around. But other than that, no thanks.
Yeah, you're like, no, I'm good. I don't need that. Wow. How can people protect or cleanse their energy in everyday life?
Ooh, I love this question because I truly believe everyone should be cleansing their energy. And not even cleansing your energy. I think you should just learn how to protect your energy.
Yeah.
Because we're all constantly walking around each other, amongst each other, constantly picking up each other's energy. So one of the biggest things that I always recommend, and you'll always see on me, is I either carry a crystal necklace, or I carry rings that have crystals.
I need to get some.
Or I carry, absolutely. Those are coming soon on my website as well, you guys. So that's one of the new projects that I'm working on for this upcoming year, which I'm so excited to meet the vendors that I'll be working with. But you have to make sure that your crystals are genuine and that they're coming from a genuine source. So crystals are a perfect way to protect yourself because you can set intention into your crystals. And another way is I always tell my girls to visualize a bubble around you. Anywhere that you go before you go into the store, visualize a bubble around you. I also visualize a golden shield. It looks like metal, but it's gold. And I visualize that all around me. So anytime that I know I'm going to be in a crowded space, or if I'm going to a party, or if I am going to just leave my house, I always visualize that egg or bubble around my energy field.
I like that. I'm gonna start doing that too.
Yes, do that because we pick up on way too much energy from people.
Yeah, I can definitely feel that when I am around a lot of people. I'm like, I can feel so many things at once. I'm like,
I know, and it does get overwhelming because sometimes you'll pick up on someone's energy and it makes you feel a little bipolar and you don't even know that it's someone else's crap and not even yours.
Okay, this is a good question. Are there any common misconceptions about energy work that you'd like to address?
I love that one. Let me sit with that for a second.
Because as I've told you before, I feel like people are like, oh, like they're in a scary basement and there's going to be like, she's going to summon like demons, like stuff like that. Like, you know?
Some people do. Here's the thing. There is a misconception that spirituality or working with crystals, working with herbs, it's related to witchcraft, right? Here's what I want people to understand. We live in a world of free will where we get to choose whatever we want to work with. We live in a world of duality where there is good as much as there is bad. And whatever you focus on and whatever you willingly work with will manifest in your life. So one of the biggest things that I can tell people is, yes, the bad has its place here on earth as much as the good. They both do. But what we put our attention to the most is what we will create. So what's happening right now is that you're seeing a lot of people are tapping into their intuition. They want to create from a different energy field to feel better about themselves or create more beautiful things for themselves. So you can't serve two masters. They're two separate energy fields. So if you want more of the good to come into your life, start prepping your body, your mind, learn about yourself more, get a reading, be a little bit more open because just like there's good, there's bad. And I think people get so tied up in if we had a God that really loved us, there wouldn't be so much bad in our lives. But the reason why we've been creating from a place of negativity for hundreds of years is because we literally were programmed by so many different things to keep us in a state of being that was low vibe or fear, shame, guilt, all of those things. We're stepping through now into a new reality where you can create whatever it is that you desire and use these tools of spirituality that are being gifted to you to create whatever it is that you want. As long as the intention is with love and with purity, you can't go wrong. You can't go wrong. Now, when the intention is from anything other than that, that's where you create karma. Yeah, so just as much as there's space for good, there's space for bad. So just remember, you create what you think more of. So many people get so upset about the war that's going on in the world. And yes, it's terrible. But we have to face the war within ourselves. The war that we have going on within ourselves and within our homes in order to start seeing war minimized outside. Inner work creates beautiful different things outside of us, but it has to be with loving intention. And I think so many of us, right, what we don't understand is you cannot tell me that if I sit here and I think positivity, all of a sudden, all kinds of positive things are going to start happening.
It's not realistic.
It is not for most humans, but it will become more realistic because what we have to understand is that what we think we create. So what are we allowing ourselves to think?
This is an interesting one. Have you ever had an experience where you couldn't read someone's energy?
Yes. I have had experiences where I cannot tap into people's energy. Why? Because their expectations of the energy, of the reading, energy reading, is crazy high. So what does this mean? They booked a session to test my skills and see if I'm real or not. Sometimes I can't tap into that energy. Number two, people who have gotten energy readings gifted to them without them willingly wanting it, and they're just seeing what comes through. Hardest energy for me to tap into, because usually for me to be able to tap into your energy, you have to, number one, be open to it. Be ready for it. And that just simply means understanding and having a intention behind why we're sitting down together. I haven't been able to tap into someone's energy when they have extreme expectations. Again, like I said earlier, they want things to go their way. All my sessions, you receive what you need and not what you want. Yeah. Because your guides are going to tell you what it is that is blocking you from reaching your next level. And if your energy is too stubborn, you won't get what you need from the energy reading. Therefore, they won't deliver a message to you. And I've had that happen. Not a lot, but I would say out of the hundreds of sessions that I've had, I would say maybe a handful, not even, like maybe 3 people. I just canceled it and gave them their money back because
you're too blocked off. I can't do anything with that
because they're stubborn. And if I don't tell them what they want to hear, they immediately block their energy, and I can't tap into your energy if it's not free will.
Yeah. When I got my energy reading done, I went into it with 0 expectations, and I was like, I'm going to hear what I need to hear, and that's all I need to know. Thankfully, I was at the point where I was like, you know what, I'm open to like this spirituality stuff. Like I want to heal myself in that way now and stuff like that. So thank God I came to you because
your session was almost 3 hours, huh?
Yeah, I think it was 2.5 hours, and I think I only booked like the 1 hour one or something.
And I was like, you want to keep going?
Yeah.
Because here's the thing too, when you have reached a point in your life where you're just exhausted and you're ready for change and you're genuinely ready to hear what you need to hear because you're about to take action, that's when you're going to receive the most. That's where your guides are like, all right, she's ready. Let's do this. Let's deliver the message that she needs because we're about to level you up and we're about to remove those obstacles that you've created for yourself.
Exactly. I remember from my session, she was like, I want to keep going, but they're telling me like, no, like that's enough. Like she's heard enough. Like we're good here.
Yeah. And I've had sessions. I think the longest session I've ever had has been 3 hours, and hers was second to that. It was like constant.
It was a lot though.
Go.
I do want to make a YouTube video about like just my first session too, because there was a lot of things in that session that like, I know people are going to be like, whoa. Like that's legit. And I'm like, yeah, it is legit.
It was a lot.
It was a lot, but it was definitely life altering in the best way possible.
Yeah, healing.
Do you ever feel drained after a session, and how do you recharge?
Yes. I always say there's levels to me going to connect and coming down. So what I do is I tap into the angelic realms, which is the realms where our guardian angels are. We are all assigned guardian angels at birth. So I tap into that realm. I tap into your guardian angel. Sometimes I tap into one. Sometimes there's multiple. It just depends on what you need. So when I tap in, I get this adrenaline rush and I'm just delivering. That's why we say have a notebook, have or a recorder ready so that you can remember most of our session, because sometimes I don't remember all of the things, right? So yes, I get this adrenaline rush and then I know I'm connected. And then from there I channel. Then once we close off, I set the intention. I cleanse myself from your energy. I release your energy. And then I'm still adrenaline in the adrenaline for about 10 minutes, 15 minutes. And that's my favorite because I just feel so pumped. I feel so excited. I feel so excited for you. I send love. I shut off. And then I'll say like maybe an hour after our session, tired.
Yeah.
I don't want to talk to anyone. I come down and I can feel my energy shifting from up there to earth. It's like I do disconnect to a certain extent from my reality to connect to yours.
Have you seen the guardian angel realm? Like, have you seen visions of it, or do you just feel them?
I just feel them. When I was 24, I was dealing with a really, really toxic relationship. When I started seeing like really dark entities was around him. And that's when I would ask my guides, like, you are not allowed to show yourself physically to me. It was one of the scariest things I've ever experienced. And I would love to share that story because I think so many of us are going through similar things that I was going through in that toxic relationship. But anyway, so recharging afterwards, honestly, I just rest. I drink a lot of water. I rest and I fill my cup with positive affirmations, or I will journal. I take it easy for the rest of the day. Unless I have morning sessions and I gotta run, then I'll drink like a Red Bull and stuff, but, or a Bang.
Yeah, to get that energy in you.
Yes.
All right, next question is my favorite question because I think this is really cool. Do you believe pets or animals have energy fields that can be read?
Yes.
I thought about this because I was like, oh my gosh, I wonder what Loki and Maggie's energies are. Like, they're probably so chaotic.
I love that because yes, and you know what's funny is I've had multiple animals come through.
That's great.
So many. Yeah, so many. But the only time that I've had them truly come in is when they're, what would you call it? The pet owner or the person getting the reading. If they are in a really dark place that they need to come through for them to believe.
Oh, okay.
And they will come in with very specific messages, which makes the owner be like, oh shit. All right, then I need to take this and take practice with it. Because believe it or not, our pets are a form of a protection from the other side. If you take care of the animal realm, they will always take care of you. And 100% of the sessions where the animals have came through, whether they're physically here or not, they always come in as a guardian angel every single time.
Wow.
Yeah, I got chills.
I know, I did too, because like I care about animals so much. Like I don't know what it's always been a thing. Like I care about my dogs so much. I care about like the dogs in the shelter. Like one of my dreams and goals in life is to literally buy out like a puppy mill or like buy out a shelter and just have like land somewhere where they can all just like green grass everywhere. Like I get chills thinking about it.
I love that so much. One of my clients in the Dominican Republic is building what you just said.
Really?
Yeah. She is from Canada and she's building a dog treats that are 100% like organs and things that dogs really need.
Yeah.
And she's going around the Dominican Republic sharing her treats, and she's been growing, and I've been working with her for the last 2 years, seeing her dream come to life. So
number 12, what's the most surprising thing you've learned through energy work?
Oh my gosh. Every single session, I always feel like I take some information from it that I didn't even know about. Some of the things that they tell you guys to do, I'm like, I'm going to start doing that for myself too. Honestly, I would say my first big encounter with them was probably the most surprising to me, because I was at a time in my life where I didn't even believe in God anymore. I didn't believe in God. I didn't believe in angels. I thought that life's a bitch and then you die. And I was just in the lowest of low. And honestly, I kind of passed out, and I was in a situation where I didn't want to be on earth anymore. And I remember them clearly coming through and saying, once you wake up, things will never be the same. My ex woke me up, slapping me in the face, like, what is wrong with you? And I remember telling him, like, why did you wake me up? I was talking to my dad. And my dad passed away when I was 14. And he came through with a bright light behind him, but I knew it was separate entities.
Yeah.
And the white light had told me, when you wake up, you will never be the same. So I remember waking up thinking it was bullshit. And then the next day going about my business, getting the kids ready for school. And then I couldn't find my keys, and I was pissed. Going back to what I always was. I was upset. I was pissed. And I was like, where the fuck are my keys? Super mad. And I remember something came over me, and it was like, hey, calm down. Look to your left. I swear I had looked there 5 times. My keys were right there. And I just looked, and they said, calm down. Like, your keys are right there.
Yeah.
That was when I knew there was some shit going on.
Oh my God.
But I've had millions of those experiences, but that was the first one that I was like, oh shit, this is for
like,
real.
This is real. All
right. But I remember, because it was such a calming energy, I said, I want to feel you again. Are you really with me? Are you really here? And they told me, we've always been here. You just never listened. So I started listening ever since then. I started connecting and really getting into understanding what that was. And when I went into learning what that was, it led me down a path, and now we're here.
Yep. Now we're here.
Number one thing that I've ran across people being skeptical about spirituality is that they were taught that it is the devil's work. They have been taught that there is only one form and one way to find God, and that is church. They've been taught that only the God that's represented in church is the only God that exists, and that any other form of saints or any other form of spirituality is against God. Can I say something about that?
Yeah.
I've always questioned why, if they praise so much about a loving God that is non-judgmental, that loves you no matter what, that loves you exactly for who you are because he created us in his image, therefore you are perfect, right? That's what they teach you. Why is it that the most judgment comes from those places, especially when they themselves preach this one thing, but they themselves will bring out the commandments of God, which you will go to hell if you don't follow these instructions of what it is to be a perfect human.
Yep.
But we were made in his image, but we're so imperfect that we're sinners. Just, it's so complicated and difficult for me that I find it really hard to believe that my way of experiencing spirituality is wrong, when everything in that can be so contradicting. But I just find it so fascinating that that they've told me that, like, my work is witchcraft. And if it's witchcraft and it's helping people and it's loving people and it's giving them the security that they haven't been able to get anywhere else, then I will take the title.
Yeah, I find it very hypocritical too. I think that's why I was turned off by like traditional church a lot, because I did grow up super Catholic and stuff like that. I went to Catholic school and everything. But it's funny because my parents wanted me to go to Catholic school like all my life. But I refused. Like, I was like, I'm not going to Catholic school. I don't want to do that.
It's like almost, it feels like you are being fake at your core. And some of us just don't have the capacity to do that. I remember when I was seeking God too, I would go to a Christian church and I would wear like shirts like this, right?
Yeah.
Or really tight pants. And the pastor would tell me, hija, or daughter, right?
Yeah.
Like, you shouldn't be wearing tight pants like that because you're causing men to look at you in a bad way, or you're causing men to be attracted to you sexually.
You are causing it.
Me.
Yeah.
So I remember I said, you know what? If God isn't going to love me because I wear tight pants and I like to go to the club once in a while, then this ain't going to work for me. Because we did come here to experience and enjoy life. We came here to enjoy the essence and find who we are. The essence of who we are is our mission and our purpose, part of it.
Question 14. What's a question you wish people would ask you during a session? I found that interesting too, because I was like, I wonder if there's a question that she like, oh, like, I hope they ask me this, or like, I wish somebody would ask me this.
You know, because I am so open and so in flow, I don't think there's a specific question that I wish people would ask, because I think just them booking the session means that they need clarity and guidance. So I think you already have enough pressure coming to me, and you already have enough pressure and fear from what you're going to receive. Especially my first time clients. So honestly, what I would say is just ask what feels right to you. There is no stupid question except the one that's not asked.
Yeah.
If you have a question in your mind and in your soul that you want to ask, but you're afraid to ask, you have a safe space with me to ask about anything.
Can anyone learn to read energy, or is it a natural gift?
What I would say about that, especially because in the realm of spirituality, we've seen it taking off in the last 10 years, we've seen spirituality taking off to new levels, and it'll continue to do so because there's duality. Again, there's good and bad to everything. And when someone finds something good and it goes trending, you're going to have half of those people fucking shit up for everybody else. Now, what that means is there's a point to that, because there's a lot of people that mean well, but they haven't done their own inner work, continuous inner work, or they haven't had enough life experience. And I'm nobody to say if you've gone through enough shit or not.
Yeah.
But there's some people that are genuine and there's some people that are not. Whether you go to psychic school and get a psychic certificate, that doesn't mean that that is the work that you're supposed to do.
They have that?
They have that.
Wow.
Which is great. I've never gone to any classes. Everything that I do was self-taught, but I have come across unauthentic energy that myself, it was really heavy and thick energy because people get into this doing it because it's trending. And the more you do something because it's trending, the less authentic it'll be, the less successful you will be at it. So look for the things that bring you passion and look for the things that you're naturally good at doing to help others. And that's where your success will be. And can I just say, the reason why I got into spirituality and into actually promoting my work is because of my lash clients. I've been doing lashes for over 10 years. And so when I would sit with my clients, I would get downloads, I'd deliver the messages, and they would tell me, you're fucking not normal. You need to talk to people about this. You need to be more open about your work because other people would benefit from it. And it took me like 5 years to finally, I would do referral only. I wouldn't even go public with the information because I was horrified about what people were going to say about me. And so once I was done with the fear, when I moved to the Dominican Republic, is when I finally said, fuck it. I'm just going to go public. I'm going to just do the work that I do and we'll see how it goes. That's kind of how it started. But my clients were actually the ones that were pushing me. I was never even going to do this work.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's crazy. How can someone tell if their energy is off or blocked?
You feel like shit.
All the
Nothing's
time?
going right for you. You wake up extremely tired. You're
That's how
sad.
it's been. Yeah.
You're sad all the time. You have more negative vibes than you do uplifting vibes.
Yep.
That's when you know you got to do the inner work for you to see where that energy is connected to, and you either cut it off. I mean, that's basically you have to find ways to take care of yourself because no one's going to do it for you.
That's what I had to learn. That was the hard lesson I had to learn. Like, I have to take care of myself before, like, anybody is to take care of me, you know? Like, and I can't take care of other people if I'm not taking care of myself.
Absolutely.
So, at the beginning of this year, I was like, you know what? I'm going to sign up with a therapist. Like, I've been feeling like shit. Like, I need to see what's going on in my brain. If it's something that needs to be diagnosed, if I need to go on medication, whatever. And then after that, I started, like, going to the gym. And I found Pilates, too. And that made me feel really good in my body. And I was like, okay, like, this is helping. The therapy and the exercising is working. And then finally, when I was like nearing the end of therapy, I was like, okay, I think I need to heal like spiritually. Like, I feel like this is the missing like puzzle piece.
I love that.
And then lo and behold, my cousin took me to a wellness night, and that's where I met Wendie, and here we are.
And here we are.
Here we are.
You touched on some very powerful points. Therapy's great because sometimes we're carrying shit inside that we didn't even know that we were carrying. And by talking about it, we let it out. Talk about your shit. Find those people that will listen to you over and over and over again about the same shit till you're tired of talking about it and you heal. Find the people that support you, that you feel loved around. Find your tribe. Go to wellness retreats. Go meet other women. I guarantee you, you will find someone that is your vibe. Another thing is move your body. It doesn't need to be the gym. It doesn't need to be Pilates. It could be simply turning on your jam and literally wiggling your body for
Dancing,
10 minutes.
yeah.
That's what I do. If I don't want to go to the gym and I don't want to do anything that day, I will turn up my music and I will dance for 30 minutes with my daughter, jumping around all over the house. And just, that's my goal, is to move that energy out of you. Sometimes when we feel our lowest, we need to detach from from everything, okay? Detach from everything. Allow yourself to deep rest. Allow yourself to rest. And they're also telling me to mention, remove all of the accounts that you're following, even if it's people that you love. If those accounts, because what they're accomplishing makes you feel less than, makes you feel insecure about yourself, mute them. Mute them. Start following people that are going to uplift you. Use social media to your highest good. Don't follow these accounts of millionaires and these women that are super glam and you wish you had that. No. Follow the people that are going to uplift you, because social media is a powerful tool and we're moving into social media everything. Everyone has an account. So use social media to your highest good, and that'll also help you shift your vibe.
I've had to do social media cleansings a
Yes.
lot, because I found that, like, why am I feeding myself that constantly when I could easily just, click away.
Exactly.
What is the difference between energy reading and psychic readings?
Okay, so I have a really big problem with titles. I will never call myself a psychic. I will never call myself a medium. I don't call myself any of that stuff. So it's honestly just a title. Energy is energy. What I will say is that all of us read energy differently. So you can come to me for a reading and then go to someone else for a reading and they'll be completely different. But some things will align for sure. If you're meant to hear that. It's almost like an investment in yourself. So your guides will work for you and you will receive a message. But you'll notice it depends on the person and what their experiences have been, and the amount of work that they do within themselves is how accurate the message is going to be for you. So I think energy readings and psychic readings are basically the same thing. We all just use different tools and we connect in different ways. So you got to find someone that you feel comfortable with, and to tap into your energy, don't just go to anyone.
And that goes into the next question. How can someone know if they found the right energy reader for them?
You'll feel right.
Yeah.
You will feel right.
You feel safe.
Thank you. You will feel safe. You will feel like, okay, I was meant to come here. Another thing though, just make sure that whenever you guys are booking a session with someone, that I would always say, go with someone that referred you over. But I will say, you will get this crazy magnetic pull to that person. Like you want to get a reading from this person because you feel it in you that it's good. Yeah. So you'll know. Your gut will tell you for sure.
Trust your gut.
Trust your gut.
Okay, so for the last question, it's if someone wants to book a session with you, what should they expect?
Expect it to be a lot more loving than scary. 100%.
Yeah, it's not scary.
Expect it to be all love and not fear. We're going to focus on all the places that you've been neglecting and putting and pouring love into. And it's not scary.
Yeah, 100% not scary. Tell the people where they can find you if they want lashes or energy readings.
So you can find me on Instagram. It's wendie.beauty. And where else? That's it.
Soon YouTube. Soon, because you're like a natural at this.
I love you.
I can see you doing this.
I would love to do it. I just need to get inspired.
Yeah.
It's so scary to put yourself out there.
I feel you. Well, thank you so much for doing this with me. I appreciate it. Book with her if you literally want to change your life and get beautiful lashes, because she truly has changed my life, and I appreciate her so much. And yeah, like I said, we'll do an entire YouTube video about like just specifically how you've helped me in my journey, and just like chit chat all about that, because I know the people would want to know like about that side of me. So
and just know, I always, like I was telling her too, I feel like God's been sending me the 20-year-olds, because this is in your 20s is if you can get a hold of all of this information, you will be unstoppable by the time you're my age, in your 30s.
Yep. Thank you so much for watching. And yeah, if you have any other questions or comments, or like any other videos you'd be interested in with Wendie, go ahead and leave that in the comments. And we will see you in the next video.
I hope to see and hear from you guys.
Bye.